IWM.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday morning. TGIM and all that. Heading into the dog days of summer. It's the end of July, last day of July. Heading into August. I suppose the summer actually went by pretty quickly. Really wasn't that hot here on the wet coast of North America. I do understand most of the world is suffering under sweltering heat, but here it's not so bad. So anyway, it is what it is. Happy Monday morning. And of course, we're now on the other side of the Fed meeting for July. They don't meet again until September. My hunch is we could drift here a little bit. We definitely are susceptible in this kind of environment as we head out sort of the back end of earnings season. Once we get through all that, there's a few companies that still need to report that are kind of big ones here this week, things like Apple and Amazon and stuff. But once we get on the other side of that, it's going to be like, what's the latest woke agenda du jour topic to piss everybody off. I saw in the lounge here this morning that now I guess that Greta has lost her credibility. And you notice that Greta never goes to downtown Beijing and tells them to clean up their environmental act. Eh? What a fucking hypocrisy. Anyway, somebody in the lounge was posting that that Klaus doofus, he actually is like recruiting his kid or something for some political crap. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. If anything, it's such a cool commentary of our TRI lounge. We're just a whole bunch of gnarly traders, so we don't really take crap from anyone, and it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, most of this is like political agenda, and clearly they've got some sort of ulterior motive to all this. But anyway, this is the rhetoric that's being passed around TRI. Klaus Schwab's daughter, and look at this, permanent climate lockdowns coming. All right, well, we'll put you in a cage 2 by 2 by 2. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm part of the 1% elite. I get a gilded cage. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I suppose welcome to the 21st century. So there's your way to, the nice salty way to start your Monday morning, eh? Politics, rhetoric, blah, blah, blah. Let's see if Brian can try and fill your morning with some half-decent ideas. I tell you, man, there's one or two cryptocurrencies. Hell, I even tweeted it out. I was so damn impressed with the price chart. So I don't know whether we'll get to that later on, but Jesus, there's some good-looking names out there. And it's interesting, right? Because if you go out in social media, is anybody really squawking about how wonderful, tons of money to be made in crypto right now? Not really. I don't know whether I'm too jazzed about things like Bitcoin. I think, unfortunately, he's awfully expensive, but there are some little ones that are looking juicy. So keep your eyes peeled. And of course, this is the time of year for this, right? We're into the altcoin silly season. So by all means, if you can find projects that are doing things, and I suppose also too, the great part about TRI is our CTO Sjord is an absolute whiz with computers and computer technology, and he knows his crypto backwards. So I have no problem whatsoever following his lead. If he thinks a project's a half-decent idea, I want in. And I think I've told you all before. I mean, let's see. There are a few of you on YouTube. Let's see if we can get you to jump through some hurdles. What are we supposed to be doing in 2023? Which, of course, makes perfect sense because the public is not doing basically the exact opposite. In fact, I think the public has basically convinced itself that we're all going into recession. Excellent, Cotter. You badass motherfucker. Nice job, Constantine. You guys are awesome. Now with regard to the broader market, oh, big kisses too. Oh, there you go. I'm a bit leery, to be honest with you. I don't like the look of this breadth signal here. This does not look healthy. This looks like, again, 1+1 = 3. There's such a fantastic community. One of our OGs was passing around Larry Williams's latest free offering, and he's kind of suggesting, yeah, maybe the market needs to take a bit of a pause here in August, maybe turn back up in early September, something along those lines. But I don't like the look of this breadth. That does not look happy here. And it is interesting because I saw, we do have crypto breadth turned back up there a few days ago. And the market's just sort of been just gyrating around that entry level. And what usually happens is, in fact, actually, we have one OG on the site who says that I'm not going to take any algo signal unless I see both the S&P and crypto both pointing either up or down in unison. And they're actually giving conflicting messages right now. So it doesn't surprise me that something like Bitcoin's just basically going sideways here right now. So I don't know how long this is going to take to clean up. It's, when it's rolling over like this, and, a big thank you to Sjord for fixing the data prints and cleaning this back up. This looks more like what I was kind of thinking it ought to look like. Really our best bet here is just to cool our jets, just wait for the broader market to get happier again, and then we'll turn back up. Always want to be a demonstrator of best practices. So as we've said, if we're going to do a boot camp this fall, which is looking more and more real. We have one site member who's out of the Caribbean, who's sort of been the quarterback to a certain degree, Mr. Rush. Probably going to have to lean on you a little bit here now over the next few months. Maybe we ought to get the weekend meetings back up and running. I had about 20 or 30 people actually reply that they would be interested in a get together this fall. So I think we might actually get moving forward on that. Maybe we'll have to start making regular meetings, but nonetheless, demonstrator of best practices. I've been trying to walk you guys through on these free videos. What does a day trader's life really look like, day to day, day in, day out. Actually, I think I'm going to go when I'm done all this here today and clean up. I think I'd like to, just for fun. I mean, I don't need the money, but for fun, I think that, it's like $50 to sign up for that Top Step Combine. And I'd just like to do it just to prove to myself that I could still be funded by these guys. But these guys, I mean, $50, what the hell for a month? I mean, that's not much money in these days. Just to go and hang out with Johnny Hoagland and chew his ear. I haven't talked to John in forever. And then, more importantly, just to prove that you can actually still trade. And if we're going to do that live boot camp, then, like ideally, people who don't have money and want to get funded and want to get going and trading and making money from trading and, the career, Mr. Money Manager. The prop firm route is actually, I think, the best way to go for new people. It really forces you to really clean up your act and act professionally. So to that end, like I said, wanted to sort of demonstrate to everybody what a typical sort of day trader's life looks like. So here we are. Actually, we've got to spell the word Sunday correctly, though. Gee whiz, what a mistake. Anyway, so on the weekend, I think what I'm going to do here is we'll do it up daily levels. And this probably is a good sort of frame of reference for you to start your week. And markets that I like to follow: gold, crude, ES, and BTC. So maybe on Mondays, we'll just do a quick daily chart overview. What are some levels? So looking at the gold market, interesting how we do have a nice little double bottom working down at the bottom here, which is projecting a tag of 50% retracements, which makes sense. The interesting thing here, of course, is that we are into the time of year when this thing would ideally actually like to bottom. And are we carving out some sort of massive inverted head and shoulders? maybe we need maybe another week or two to, sideways. And then if we break out to the upside, then we can actually start thinking about stabs up top. Also, but I did see some conflicting messages. In the after party on Mondays, I like to go through the actual signals, and I will say, did get a few gold stocks that were looking a little bit heavy. So I don't know. We got rid of the Australian screen. Just didn't have that much feedback from people whether they really wanted the Aussie stocks. So we've removed that. I have to clean that up a little bit. But as I said, I was actually a bit surprised. You got like daily bearish key reversals on Alamos Gold. Maybe this will be reversing here. With the gold moving up here this morning, but I did see a few gold names. There was also a push lower there on Alamos, obviously with a bearish key reversal. That's going to be slight momentum. IM gold, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I certainly wouldn't. I'm not pounding the table that this is some sort of great buy. All I'm just commenting on is what did I say, through the weekend doing my chart analysis. All right, and where the hell did the page go? All right, here we are over here. All right, so kind of trapped in my conclusion here first thing this morning. Also remember too, Mondays. Mondays is a good day to just sort of let the market open and breathe. We don't really have a hell of a lot of econs here, so it's sort of like, you know what? I'm just going to let the market set up. So 4-hour basis on the gold, you can see horizontal support and resistance, wicks and tails like to Eden, candle body highs to trade location. There's these trend channels that I've drawn. There's ATR up there. So if I was going to be hunting a day trade in gold, I think I'd want to be hunting up around this 2020 area. Not really here. We're kind of in no man's land. We could drift both back into key support. And if I was hunting longs, I like the idea of actually really I like the idea of hunting against these lows, but you're probably going to find some trendline support against these channel midpoints. So is this like a bull flag that's maybe forming here? We'll see whether I can get 3 higher lows against these 2 little trend line levels here. But yeah, we're kind of in no man's land. Nothing really to do there. Then moving on to the crude market next. Crude's looking very, very uppy on the daily charts. So, as a sort of an aside, this is probably a good thing. If you've never heard this before, write it down. Very rarely do you have a situation where crude and gold and the metals all move up in unison. Usually it's either one or the other. So you can see crude's got a head of steam on a huge double bottom here. Fog and bombs up top. It looks like we're actually trading into those levels now. A, B, C, D's also pointing up top here. Channel midpoints up top here. And this is an A, B, C, D bullish bot objective up here at 82. So big head of steam. If anything, we probably should expect some sort of blow off top here, heading into maybe, the midweek inventory report, something along those lines. Nothing for me to do here. Total no man's land. You're either in the trade and you are long and you're enjoying the ride. And we had a whole bunch of energy names that were all spitting out bullish signals there a week or two ago. So not really a big surprise this market's moving higher. But no day trades, no swing trades right here. We're kind of in no man's land. And that was my comment. Strong bull for the daily chart, but on the 4-hour chart, kind of stuck in no man's land. I certainly wouldn't be hunting a setup here. I do like the idea there is that a huge higher time frame bot, price objectives. Then there's also this lower time frame bot. 2.618 ATR. So I'd actually be thinking if there was going to be some sort of reversal, probably comes in around 83 bucks. And right now on the crude contract, look at soybeans coming off a chunk here this morning. Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise. Anyway, where is our crude? Sitting up 92 cents right now. And this is a typical Monday trade. This is why I don't really like taking setups on Mondays, because you can see all this really is just stopwashes back and forth. All the noobs are just getting their hearts crushed here. But nonetheless, 81 50 there, up 92 on the September contract here. And this actually looks like it's trying to set up. If we get three higher lows, then you might have a nice little bull flag that takes up that next leg higher. That I think it looks like I said, this energy market's got a head of steam behind it. That looks pretty damn strong. Strong like bull, right? And isn't that how it goes? Anyway, so there's your energy summary. Looking at the stock market, another sort of, strong bull push. And really, this does make sense. Usually, energy and the stock market, I used to call them the risk on assets when I did the risk on, risk off studies with you guys. I haven't looked at those charts in a bit. Anyway, 2.618, midpoint of channel, still quite a bit higher. As I had said earlier, that breadth indicator, I mean, you look at this chart and it's just like, oh my goodness, this is going to give me a nosebleed. And the breadth indicator is not really overly happy. I think I've shown you guys. I am watching the Russell 2000 very closely. I do like this setup here, but again, it looks to me like this is in a trading range and we're just coming up against the top end of the range here. I would actually prefer a nice little pullback back into this support level and then a nice little buy signal. And if the breadth indicator could turn back up on that pullback, then I'd be super, super excited. Like kind of an interesting commentary. I was a little surprised that Allen is just basically sitting right at his ABCD level. Really hasn't moved much. I mean, this thing's just oscillating right around this level. Maybe we had higher. I don't know. That's a tough one, but you can see there's the ABCD target. And you can see how, this is like a darling of the market. If this thing is a bull, then, it's got some work to do. It's actually done a bit of technical damage here recently. So anyway, there's that. I suppose darlings in the market right now, things like Tupperware. Woohoo! If anything, here is an absolute perfect analogy of this summer sort of meme kind of market state. So congratulations, all you crazy TRIers banging out huge wins on Tupperware. Way to go. And actually, there's a couple other little ones in the stock market that are perking up that look very similar. And also, too, like I said, there's a few little crypto names that look just absolutely incredible. So anyway, back to our stock market commentary. Strong push up, but I certainly can't invest in a chart that looks like that. That's one directional. And even just short-term support here is down at 43.42, which is, what is that? That's about like 5-10% lower than where we are right now. It's a little bit risky, and given that guy over there in Eastern Europe, if he lights off a nuclear bomb or dirty bomb or something like that, I could easily see the market just get punched here. And it wouldn't necessarily be econs. It wouldn't be like corporate earnings. It would be like one of these macro, events that sort of rocks the world and everybody, questions humanity and all that kind of stuff. Not really anything stock market wise, more like sort of global geopolitics wise. I could see something along those lines, but I suppose that could happen at any point. Anyway, so point here is, this chart is still pointing up, but it looks very nosebleedy. And then, if I'm hunting setups for the day trading purposes, I really like to see like 3 or 4 levels all come in at once. So yeah, we are in a reload zone against these highs. And if we start aiming out, then okay, I could maybe start thinking about hunting shorts, but right out of the gate Monday morning, don't really have any sell signals. And actually this was funny, that was actually a trade from last week. I'm not quite sure why I have that note on there. Here, let's pull up the real-time chart here. I'm not really seeing it, like stock market. If anything, I saw that it was potentially trying to put in a bullish bot here earlier this morning. I was tracking this, and then we just started melting down and just backed off. Actually, you can see we're starting to put in another bottom here, 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows. So it does look like she's trying to turn back up, but actually, we have one really simple setup. Leanne James, who knows where the hell Leanne James is in this world? You want to draw your trend line off of these peaks. Clearly, that's a significant trend line. Now, can I get a W on the other side of this trend line? If I could, then maybe we got something to work with to the upside. But right now, in fact, actually, this is completely off the table. So right now, just big hurry up and do nothing. And looking at that 4-hour chart, there's that funny notation. I'm not quite sure why I have that on the screen. Anyway, that was right here last week. In fact, actually, I think I told you last week I took a short shot there through the session. A terrible trade location. It turned out to be a loser. Way to go, Brian. Anyway, managed losses. I think I lost like 12 ticks or something on the trade. Could I see the stock market roll over here? Given the way the breadth looks, yeah, I could. And really, a 4-hour signal might actually get us thinking down as, if this fractal actually fires here. Well, I might start thinking down because you can see we are in a reload short zone here. But right out of the gate, first thing Monday morning, I wasn't going to take any big shots here. But let's watch how this develops. That is interesting to see how that's in there. Nothing really trade-wise, though, for me. But could we see a failure up in this area? We did hit golden ratios, bottoms of parking garages. I think actually we even had, didn't quite hit this foggy. I would expect us to trade up to this channel, tag the foggy, maybe even get up into that ATR level, tag this foggy up here, create a nice little divergence. Our divergence signal, yeah, we got 3 divs that came in here. If we had a nice little pop up here, it'd be nice to see a bunch of divs all come in here. So anyway, point of the matter here, there's nothing for me to do right now. It's just a big hurry up and go sideways. Let's see. Anything else we can talk about here this Monday morning? What time is that? Just coming along. Oh, might as well take a look at Boo. Boo. Might as well take a boo at Bitcoin. So that was funny. All right. So daily chart. And actually now I'm on to the August contract. Seems to be the heaviest traded here. I'm going to be watching these on the CME. Of course, good old Brian and his futures trading. I was pretty excited to see that Bitcoin seems to be getting some traction here on this CME contract. Still pretty thin. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You can see very thin. This is the micro contract as well. Anyway, looking at the chart from a daily perspective, remember we had said, I went on vacation there right through here, and Peter Fink came out of nowhere and said, I want a Bitcoin ETF, and I've got a big dick, so look out, here I come. And the market just vaulted straight up. And frankly speaking, that to me does not look sustainable. So from a futures perspective, all of these price gaps should be filled in. And interestingly enough, I mean, just the ugliest looking price action. I don't know. Somebody's screwing around with this price chart. And I wouldn't even be surprised if it's intentional, given the big boys kind of, I think in a weird sort of way, like the classic Wall Street player, especially that Fink guy, he would love to try and punish, like people like CZ and, people that actually think they're money managers and on the global scale and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, people in our community who are trying to like just, trade setups. He would just love to just break their hearts. And that's kind of what this chart looks like to me. Not clean whatsoever. In fact, you might even argue that you've probably heard me talk about megaphones, and I'm just looking at this chart. Sure looks to me like this is some sort of megaphone. If we just do something like that, there to there to there. So, I mean, if we can somehow hold in here, maybe we can get a nice big fat rally back up top. But I'll tell you, man, they sure look like they're doing a bunch of technical damage to this chart right now. Which is fascinating, right? Because we had that the algo actually flip back on the bull side up here. Then it flipped back bear. Then it flipped back bull. I might just be told to get back out. And that's just the way algo trading goes. If you don't understand that, be very, very careful trading the algo. And I'm hearing a lot of people coming on the site just saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna trade the algo. I mean, this is the secret weapon, and I don't have to do any other research or any other work, and I don't have to trade setups and all. I don't have to do all that money management crap that you're always talking about, Brian." And that frankly scares the hell out of me. I mean, you have to understand the algo system that we're trading. It should work in conjunction with your trading plan that you already are working, and the algo signals should sort of mesh with whatever system it is that you're already trading that you've learned through the education program. I don't want to hear people that are just taking trades just willy-nilly off of the algo and not even thinking twice about it. That's a little bit dangerous, folks. Yeah, thank you. So, I'm a big fan of things like high to low trend lines off of this futures contract. I think this is a very important pivot here for this market. And you can see we repeatedly keep trying to bust up through it and getting rejected back below it. If we go down to the 4-hour chart, you can see this is okay, I'm not quite sure why that's not showing there. They should be that same trend line. I don't know why that data is not showing there. But if anything, probably make it easier on you. Let's pop on over to these charts, the cash chart. So if you watched the broiler chicken show yesterday, then you remember exactly this conversation. This is all about my the 3 tweets that I put out: the higher time frame, medium time frame, lower time frame. Higher time frame, weekly, and daily charts. There really isn't any change to this picture at all. It is interesting to see how we're just sort of fluttering along. 13 EMA here acting as support. Then if we go down to the daily charts over here, I actually think we're in a narrow sideways channel right now. So actually a really easy way to trade, and actually was mentioning this to the site. We have a new level 4 program that's all about option spread trading. So any level 3ers or graduates of the education program, if you want to incorporate spread trading into your trading plan, this is a really good example where when you have narrow sideways channels like this, volatility is coming out of price. And so as a result, you should see things like implied volatility premiums come off, which means that opens up the opportunity for things like straddle trades and strangle trades. So, I mean, I still think that we're pointing down here, but maybe if we're really lucky, we get this double bottom. Some white knight comes in, bids the market up, and we break up through these highs, and away we go. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not in the business of predicting the future. What I'm just simply saying is it looks like there is a narrow sideways channel that's working now for basically what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, better part of I guess a little more than a week here. Still think that we need to complete this railroad tracks, and then as we said, off of the weekly, that is a shooting star. So I am looking for a bit lower here, not egregiously lower, but a bit lower. And then if we go back to the conversation about the futures markets, I mean, this is the 4-hour chart on that futures chart. Have we ever talked about price gaps in these YouTube videos? I mean, there's more gap on this chart than there is actually price discovery. So, again, sort of talking about that kind of screwy market that they did with that Peter Fink guy. Hey, I'm doing a Bitcoin ETF. All right, launch the market straight up. This is your visual evidence, that chart right there, visual evidence that this was not going to be long lasting. At some point, we're going to have to come back down and fill in all of these price gaps. So, unfortunately, that's just the trader's life. And unfortunately, of course, too, the public doesn't want to hear that kind of conversation. They just want to hear, man, we're all going to get rich. Bye, bye, bye. Right? That's the only thing they want to hear. Anyway, so from a futures trading perspective, I think you can kind of see that narrow sideways channel. It's interesting too how we had a bit of a moving average sandwich there working through yesterday. They really tried to bid this thing up here later on yesterday afternoon. I remember when I was doing the video, I think yesterday morning, if I'm not mistaken, the price was coming off a chunk, but maybe not in the futures, just in the spot market. Then they brought the market back into later on yesterday afternoon when I came back from Liam, and now you can see they're rolling it back over. But I would just simply say this thing's trapped in a range. And if I understand correctly, Mr. Gensler has just got a major hard on to try and corral, I guess, POS and those kind of names. So as a result, I can kind of understand why things are looking a little heavy in the crypto space here today. I guess just finish off. There are always bright spots. There are always areas that catch my attention. And I saw people in the community here, including TRI CTO, getting very optimistic about price charts like this. Cake versus USD, and this is on MEXC. I think this is where Chris is over in Singapore or something like that. Anyway, good looking chart. Holy free holies. And the good part about this is this thing hasn't broken out yet. So, just everybody just keep an eye on 164.20. That's the breakout point. And you can see today's high here is 164.10. So that makes it really simple. This thing trades up through new highs. Look at the beautiful volume coming in. Look at the W in that OBV. Oh my goodness. Like this is what we teach in our education program. You really want to see those W's in OBV. Oh my goodness. That's so pretty. W's in RSI, W's in Willie. I mean, gee whiz. This is like a Davo setup. I don't know where that Davo guy's still around the world. In fact, actually, I think I saw him tweeting out that he's got a new project, and oh boy, here comes a new coin. And I think people who bought Dav's coin last cycle, oh boy, did they ever make a lot of money. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to make another big bucket load. We're starting to come into the appropriate time. I think. Well, let's do this all again. Right at the beginning of the video, I asked you guys, and really no change. 2023 is a what year? I mean, should we be aggressively selling our crypto assets and going and shopping for Lambos? I wouldn't sell this down here. That's kind of stupid. I like the idea of buying. So anyway, if Dav comes out with a new project and it starts to ramp, it would be perfectly appropriate. This is the time of the cycle to start thinking about that kind of stuff. So if we just do a really simple chart, just something like that, just play connect the dots. Don't overthink this. I mean, what is that? That's $3, and here we are at $1.50. What a surprise! That's going to be a double. And that's going to produce that risk-free trade for whoever decides to pull the trigger on that. I mean, no guarantees from management. I mean, you know how this game goes, but statistically speaking, and the cool part about it is this thing got any room to move up. That was just a simple trend line image there. I mean, if this thing gets its act together and gets going in the next cycle, has it got any room to move up here? Yeah, you know the answer to that. So 23 is your accumulation year. It is the middle of the summer. And I'm not, if anything, I'm a little bit leery, to be honest with you, about, I don't know. It just feels like this would be too easy to just go and buy and, hey, it's easy money, no problem. And they always say in investing that the harder trade is probably the righter trade. So I actually think the harder trade right now is to maybe just leave things alone, let the dust settle, let some bullish setups come in. I don't like the look of this technical picture here. We are in reload zones. We are getting candles that actually are like bearish shooting stars with huge wicks, which technically are bearish candles. And you can see just even on this 4-hour chart, 200 SMA is is easily, well, anyway, for sake of time, I won't go into, I don't know what how the damn symbol is. But that's a good, probably like 3, 4, 5% lower. This is a little bit risky up here, and especially with the way the breadth looks, it's challenging. So, with that said, I'm playing it cool right now. I'm not in a huge hurry to do anything. I'm more than happy to do things like buy a little bit of this, Nanny Nibbles, Little Old Lady, even Joe Sixpack. That's not a terrible idea. You got a pretty good looking floor to work with there. And I think there's lots of room if this thing wants to run up. Might be interesting to do a foggy off of this level. Just get an idea of yeah, so 8 7 cents will take up here. Probably, I mean, like if we can clear through these levels, this 2.618, probably that's major traffic here in the short term, all of these highs. But if we can clear through that, then it's look left, and you can see resistance is all the way back up into this area, way up here. So, I mean, it's ideas to chew on. This amp, there's another example. Really cute little name down there. Again, you could leverage trade this, but if we break these lows on either of these, if you're gonna leverage trade, you got to walk away and you got to lick your chops, or no, that's not the right word. Lick your wounds, and just get into capital preservation mode. But you don't have to trade the market on leverage. You could go and like put like 1 or 2% of your portfolio into a name like this and just let it work. And you don't even really have to stress too much, even if it does go and break to new lows. Having said that, follow your plan. It's critical that you plan. And that way, regardless of which way the market goes, you just follow your plan, and your plan dictates what you do in the marketplace. So you really know ahead of time exactly what you're going to do. All right, let's head on over to the after party now. And we'll take a look at some of the remaining questions from yesterday's Broiler Chicken Show. There was also 1 or 2 questions that were posted in the Daily Brief request room. And then if there are any signals out of the signaling system, which I didn't really see too many when I reviewed it this morning, but a couple ideas maybe we'll review here to get your Monday off on a good note. All right. Have yourselves a great day. PMA for the win. Slow and steady wins the race. All the best, and bye for now.